The one thing they wanted more than anything else they didn't have. To make matters worse, God told them that they would get it, but that didn't happen. At least so they thought. A big move. God told them to pack up and head out to the land He would show them. Where was that going to be? They didn't know. By this time, Abraham was in his 70s, and Sarah was likely not far off. They had a lot of life behind them. A lot of miles took up their odometers. Still, they went, having no idea where to. They exhibited great faith and trust in what God was telling them to do. They did their part. They were doing their part. But frustration soon crept in. God made a big promise to them, and He didn't seem to be keeping it. Go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you, and I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and him who dishonors you I will curse, and in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed. Genesis 12:1-3. They weren't getting any younger. They were losing heart that God would truly make of you a great nation, given the implication that they would have ancestors who would make up this nation. In their 70s and childless. Not exactly the prime candidates to have a baby, let alone to become an entire nation. As they were going, a famine came into the land where they were, but they had a refuge, another nation, a nation that would steal his wife, kill him, and put his whole promise of God to rest once and for all. So what do? Well, they go into that nation, of course, like a blonde girl, no offense, in a horror movie. They go to the place they probably shouldn't go. But then again, they had to eat. So here's Abraham's plan as they're coming up to Egypt. Note, at this point, their names are Abram and Sarai. They are later changed to Abraham and Sarah by God. When he was about to enter Egypt, he said to Sarai, his wife, I know that you are a woman beautiful in appearance, and when the Egyptians see you, they will say, this is his wife. Then they will kill me, but they will let you live. Say you are my sister, that it may go well with me because of you, and that my life may be spared for your sake. Genesis 12:11-13. What happened next? Well, they entered, and the princes of Pharaoh told Pharaoh, the leader of Egypt, all about her. And then Sarah was taken to him. Then God afflicted Pharaoh and his house with plagues. Eventually, Pharaoh figured out what was happening and confronts Abram about it. What is this you have done to me? Why did you not tell me that she was your wife? Why did you say, she is my sister, so that I took her for my wife? Now then, here is your wife. Take her and go. Genesis 12:18-19. Abraham, out of fear, allowed his wife to be taken as Pharaoh's wife. Notice the past tense. What did he think was going to happen? If God didn't intercede on their behalf, they would have been stuck in Egypt with nowhere to go. Obviously, we don't know Abraham's heart in all this, but it screams of cowardice to me. Even in the midst of Abraham and Sarah making a mess of a situation, God entered into their mess and delivered them. Ever have one of those friends who just can't seem to learn from their past mistakes? Well, if Abraham and Sarah were your friends, they would be those friends. I know that God said that He would make us into a great nation, but He seems to be preventing me from having any children. So I've got an idea. Go have sex with my servant girl and get her pregnant. Yes, this is essentially what Sarah tells Abraham in Genesis 16. What does Abraham do? And Abram listened to the voice of Sarah. Genesis 16:2b. He didn't have selective hearing in this instance. He didn't seem to huff and puff at his to-do list on this particular day. No, he got up and did it. Fast forward. Hagar, the servant girl, had a son, Abraham's son, named Ishmael. As soon as she began to appear pregnant, Sarah became more bitter than grapefruit juice. Yes, quite bitter. Sarah purposefully entered into the state of having the problem of the other woman. Why? Because she and Abraham grew impatient on seeing God's promise come to fruition. They thought they could take matters into their own hands and force the issue. Not good. Despite the mess that Abraham and Sarah made, God still kept His promise to them. They did, in fact, have a child together. They named him Isaac. The beginning of them becoming a nation had arrived. And the crazy thing about Abraham and Sarah is that he is regarded as a man of great faith. Certainly, throughout his life, he exhibited great faith, but he also exhibited impatience and, in my opinion, cowardice. We'll see more of Abraham a little later, but for now, we see a married couple who struggled with God's promises because their fruition didn't happen on their timeline, but on God's timeline. That's the thing about life with God. We don't know how things are going to occur, but we do know that our God is a promise keeper and that he cares deeply for us. We can trust him even when we want to take matters into our own hands and pursue our own plans.